Welcome to my class. In this particular video lecture, we will talk about meaning and characteristics of cloud computing, part 1. Meaning. Cloud computing refers to the practice of using a network of remote servers hosted on the internet to store, manage, and process data rather than a local server or a personal computer. Let us bifurcate this particular definition into different parts. Cloud computing refers to the practice of using a network of remote servers hosted on the internet. It means this is a technique which allows us to make use of servers which are away from us, and those servers can store our data, those servers can be managed, and those servers can process data. It means we will store our data somewhere else. We can manage our data which is not on our computer, which is on remote computers. We can process data which is not with us, rather it is on remote server. So cloud computing refers to the practice of using a network of remote servers hosted on the internet, and they can store our data, they can manage our data, and they can process our data rather than we store our data on our local server or on our personal computer. It means if we are having a server with us, we will not store our data on our local server, rather we will store our data on some remote server that will be used for storing, managing, and processing of our data. To be precise, cloud computing is the delivery of computing services like servers, storages, and more over the internet. It means we can get the services of certain service providers who will provide us storage for storage purpose, who will provide us servers. To be precise, cloud computing is the delivery of computing services like servers. There are different companies who will provide us their servers. We can store our data on their servers. We can process our data on their servers. And those servers are connected to internet round the clock. Cloud computing, in short, the cloud, also focuses on maximizing the effectiveness of the shared resources. The companies that offer these computing services are called cloud providers. They charge for cloud computing services based on usage. It means if we store our data on someone else's server, we shall be paying for their services as a rent charge. Cloud storage. Several large web companies are now exploiting the fact that they have data storage capacity that can be hired out to others. It allows data stored remotely to be temporarily accessed on desktop computers, on mobile phones, or other internet-linked devices. Example: Google Docs Suite, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud EC2, Simple Storage Solution S3. These are the well-known examples of cloud storage. What are the characteristics of cloud computing? Elasticity and scalability. Cloud computing gives us the ability to expand and reduce resources according to specific service requirement. For example, we may need a large number of server resources for complex processing tasks for a particular duration. We can then release these server resources after we complete our task. Second, pay per use. We pay for cloud service only when we use them, either for short term, for example for CPU time, or for a longer duration, for example the cloud-based storage or vault service. The third characteristic is on demand. We engage cloud service only when we need them. They are not permanent part of our IT infrastructure. This is the biggest advantage for cloud use as opposed to the permanent internal IT services. With cloud service, there is no need to have dedicated resources waiting to be used as is the case with internal services. Resilient, strong, tough. The resiliency, the toughness of cloud service offering can completely isolate the failure of server and storage resources from the cloud user. Work is migrated to different physical resources in the cloud with or without user awareness and intervention. This system is such powerful system. If one of the server of service provider goes off, in that case the services provided by that server will be automatically transferred to other servers. So the user who is getting the services of that server will not be deprived of those services. Multi-tenancy. Public cloud service provider can host the cloud services for multiple users within the same infrastructure. It means the service provider can have a server and that server can be let out to number of users for a particular period. Processing server and storage isolation may be physical or virtual depending upon the specific user requirements. 6. Workload movement. This characteristic is related to cost consideration. Here cloud computing provider can migrate workload across server both inside the data center and across data centers, that is even in different geographical areas. This migration might be necessitated by cost, less expense to run a workload in a data center in another country based on time of day or power requirements, or efficiency consideration. Thank you very much.